Area in our classroom. Throughout our multiplication learning, students used arrays to learn about multiplication. As you can see from this diagram, this is a 4 by 3 array, which essentially means there are 4 rows or 4 groups of 3. And students learned to translate that into 4 times 3, the times being groups of. Now we can also use grid paper or graph paper to create arrays. Each row has a certain number of squares in it. In this example, I have created a 10 by 6 array. There are 10 rows, each with 6 in it. Students would take a look at this array and say it is a 10 by 6 array, and therefore show that 10 times 6 equals 60. When we started talking about area, we use this same array demonstration to show the area of the space. When I created a very large, say a 10 by 10 array, I asked the students what would be a more efficient way of figuring out the amount of space inside the rectangle. Clearly, counting the squares wouldn't be a very efficient way. And it was through trial and error and experimentation that students recognized that they could use the same strategies they learned for multiplication to figure out the area. In this example, the 10 by 6 array would have an area of 60 square units. In other words, 10 times 6 equals 60. You know it as the length times width. We have not taught students about length times width at this time because we want them to understand the process behind it rather than simply memorizing a formula that they really don't understand. They will eventually learn that formula, but hopefully they'll just understand it and not even need to think about memorizing a formula. Now, when we talk about area, we've given them a number of problems. For example, on this one, in this rectangle, it has a total area of 60, with the length of one side being 10. So their question would be, what is the other dimension, or what is the width of the garden, for example? And they would write a multiplication problem something like this. Of course, a division problem with 60 divided by 10 equals question mark would also be appropriate and actually show a higher level of understanding than the multiplication process. But either way is correct, and if they can use both interchangeably, it also shows a very good understanding of the whole process and a good understanding of flexibility with numbers. This is a problem similar to one that your child has received as homework or even in classroom. A carpet installer went to the home of a new customer. He needed to order carpet for the living room and needed to know how much was required to cover the entire floor. He measured the room and found it was 11 feet wide and 9 feet long. How much carpet should he order? Now, after your child looked at this, he or she would have known to draw a rectangle 11 feet wide. Switch. 11 feet wide. There we go. And 9 feet long. And then been able to write a multiplication or division multiplication problem for this of 11 times 9 equals question mark. And then they would have done the math and figured out that he needed 99 square feet. Most of your children were able to do this very, very well, and I'm really excited at how well they understood this material. Okay, so I just noticed there was a typographical error on this word problem. There should be a question mark at the end, but I can't figure out how to change it without having to start the whole presentation over. So I hope you understand and can look past that. Thanks a lot, and I hope this helped.